But if I can circle back to the calendar for just a minute, I know this attacks a lot of people's life. Most people feel like they can't live by a calendar. And if they do have a calendar, they don't usually follow it. What kind of calendar system do you use? How do you get notifications? Like give us a behind the scenes real quick of kind of your day in planning. Do you plan in the night, the morning, the day before, day of? It seems like as entrepreneurs, we have fires all of the time. Everybody is demanding our attention and our time. And I don't know, maybe you could speak to that just a minute. Obviously, you run several successful businesses and deal with a lot of people. So,
Are you talking to me?
yes. And then I'd love to also hear from Brooke on that same perspective from a realtor. But yeah, maybe you could talk just a little bit about that right quick, Angela.
So I love the question, and you made it sound like I am super organized. So thank you for that. Again, I'm glad this is taped. Every time I have a discouraging day, I'm just going to play this back and hear the accolades about myself. You're like, yay. So for me, it actually comes down to the calendar. And so if you've watched any of my shows, you'll notice that I wear the same thing every single day. And I do that so that I don't have to make those decisions every single day. Because for me, it is exhausting to try to run a business with a lot of moving parts and then to spend a whole lot of extra energy on things that don't require a whole lot of energy. Like, what clothes am I going to wear for today? Or what is my schedule for this week? How exhausting would it be if I woke up every single day and I'm like, oh, I've got a whole 24 hours. I've got to reinvent stuff to happen in those 24 hours every single day. How exhausting is that? So I have a set calendar. For example, I call my mother every Monday at 4 p.m., her time. That happens every single week. I'm not reinventing that session of that day on Monday. It's already created. It's on the calendar for life. For my mother's life, it's on my calendar. And I don't have to guess every week on Monday what happens during that time. It's already decided for me. Now, at any moment, my mother could call and say, oh, something came up. I can't talk to you today. And then I'm like, yes, mini vacation, right? I now have a free window that just opened up. Mini vacation, right? It's not on my schedule. Yay, something new. Not yay that I don't get to talk to mom, but yay that I have a moment of free time, right? Maybe I go take a nap and I do the hypnosis thing, right? Yay, a nap. Okay, so what I do though is I schedule every single day with set stuff. So if I'm a guest on this podcast and I'm invited back again and again, I'm going to put this as a regular schedule slot on my calendar. No one else can book on top of it because that is my slot that happens every single Thursday at a particular time. And so for everything in my life, is this a recurring event? And if it's a recurring event, get it on the calendar and do not change it. Every time you change something, you got to reinvent the wheel. So for example, if I have paperwork, if I'm running a real estate business, which I'm not, it's a cleaning business, but if I were running a real estate business and I had paperwork that had to be signed, I would have a block of time on my calendar every single day where I filled out all my paperwork. If I had clients that I had to follow up with, what are the most likely times during the day where I would be following up with those clients? Is that 4 to 7 p.m.? And if it is, that 4 to 7 p.m. would be blocked off every single day, Monday through, I don't know, Sunday. Is that how we do in the real estate business? It's 7 days a week. That would be my follow-up time. And I would not let anything else interfere with that. Because in the back of my mind, I would know that's the time I'm going to sit down and I'm going to make those phone calls and return the emails. And I'm going to do the social media with the clients and all the different things that we do. If it's not on the calendar for me, it doesn't get done. And so I reduce the stress of reinventing every day by just having set blocks of time on my calendar that I allow things to happen. And that's the key. I do a lot of coaching and consulting and stuff like that, but it's during a set window of time. And people have access to my calendar, they pay the money and they block a book of time. And so they can only block a book of time during a certain window of certain days of the week. Those are the only times I'm available. If they call during the time that I'm on the phone with my mother, a little red flag would pop up and say, not available. It's not available. Why? Because I'm on the phone with my mom. There's another appointment that took that time. And so I don't have to keep reinventing every day because it's already blocked out. And it reduces the stress and it reduces decision fatigue. And so like wearing the same clothes every single day, it's removed those decisions from, I go in my closet, look around, let's see, what am I going to wear today? And I'm spending all this energy. How am I going to do my hair? What clothes am I going to wear? All the things, right? It's already decided for me. So I've reduced as many decisions as possible so that when I'm one-on-one, face-to-face with a customer or a client or on a podcast or a YouTube show or whatever it is I'm doing, I can give that 100% of my attention because that time was blocked out and everything else got cleared away.
That's great advice.
It's very, very good advice.
Yeah, I think if we can eliminate the things that we're spending so much energy on that aren't productive, that's a valuable tool. And another thing, in watching Angela work, a great technique that I'm starting to adopt and I picked up when there's a situation in the moment, there's a problem. Let's say you're doing something on social media, there's a glitch. Instead of writing it down saying, oh, I'll get to that later, I've learned from Angela, take care of it right in the moment. This is when you need it done. If you put it on a list, something else is going to get stacked on top of that list. It's not going to get done. So as often as you can, if you run into a problem, correct it right then and there instead of letting yourself get overwhelmed by a list of problems that you have to deal with tomorrow, but you're not going to deal with tomorrow because you've got tomorrow's issues to deal with. So I've adopted that technique and it's been very helpful.